All right, welcome to the notes on 4-7, which is the quadratic formula. We're going to look at how to solve using the quadratic formula and how it's derived, and then we're also going to look at how we can use the discriminant to determine how many solutions are actually in a given problem. So pretty simple stuff. First, we look at how the quadratic formula was derived, and what that means is that we have this formula, and it's not just some formula that, like, some nerd thought up because they were bored. What actually happens is that when we solve a quadratic, we're solving for x. So we take this, and to get the quadratic formula, we actually solve for x and get x by itself. So this walks you through exactly how to do that. The first thing is we divide everything by a. 0 divided by a is still 0. We move ca to the other side. We complete the square, which is a skill we just practiced. So it's half of this times itself, so squared. So we add that to both sides, and then we now have a perfect square trinomial. We take the square root of both sides, we subtract, and then we combine because they have the same denominator, and then you have that very pretty formula that appears on the next page and also appears in the out of two formula sheet. So it's not something you really have to memorize, although some of you may already know it. Or if you do the practice enough, you'll just it'll get stuck in your head. So here's how we use it. We have to identify the A, B, and C. That's a really good thing to do, to actually write them out: A equals, B equals, C equals, so we can get our answers. Here we do that, and the big mistakes here are order of operations related or sign error related, but we work our way through this problem and we get those two answers. You can check it on a graphing calculator if you were provided one, or if you're allowed to use one, but that's how you do that problem. Here, we do this one right here, and we get x squared plus 6x plus 9. We work our way through it, and we just get -3. And we'll talk about why there's only one answer to that one in just a second. So go ahead and pause the video here. What I'd like you to do is work your way through these two problems. Make sure that you know that to do this, you got to get it equal to 0 first. So the big hint I'll give you is that you got to add 4 to both sides. All right, so add 4 to both sides, that one, and then find A, find B, find C, plug them into the quadratic formula, and solve. Go ahead and pause the video now and do that. All right, you're back from pausing the video. Let me walk you through the answers to these. Right here on 1A, we got x equals -2. And over here on 1B, we got x equals -2 plus or minus the square root of 7. If you didn't get those, try to do them again. Usually, guys, sign error is a huge area of mistakes, where mistakes are made. So order of operations, check your signs. Okay, if you don't get those, make a note of it, and we'll go over them in class. Here, how to use the quadratic formula for like a word problem. So we set up, we have this function. It models the profit of the fundraiser, and we want to make at least $200, so we put 200 in there. We set it equal to 0 by getting that all on one side, and then we solve. And they want to know what's the least amount you can charge. So we end up with 2 answers, and we just use the smaller, and then this gridded response is what it would look like on an SAT or something like that. So let's practice just with putting in $15.29. That's it. Okay, no problem. No problemo. All right. Let's take a look at problem 2. Or got it, number 2. If you were to do that and you were looking to make $100 profit, you just do the same problem. You go 100 equals -x squared plus 48x minus 300. Set it equal to 0, and we have 0 equals -x squared plus 48x minus 400. Solve that from there using the quadratic formula. Get your A equals B equals C equals. Okay, go ahead and get that. Solve that using the quadratic formula, and then I'll give you the answer when you get back. Go ahead and pause the video now. All right, you're back from that, and hopefully for the profit here, the minimum price, if we were only looking to make $100, would be $10.74. Okay. Interesting rounding right here, by the way, 1529, and it was 282. Hopefully you can figure out why that is. If not, ask me in class and I'll explain it. Would a negative profit make sense for this? Yeah, a negative profit would make sense. It just means we lost money. Okay. So if you were to get a negative, you have to determine whether or not that makes sense or not. And on that one, it does. At the bottom of the page, we talk about right there. We talk about what the discriminant is. The discriminant is just the inside part underneath the radical. And what we can use that for is we can determine whether or not a quadratic has two solutions, two real solutions, one real solution, or no real solutions, okay? And we do that based on what we get. And there's a very nice chart right here that explains that. So if we do b squared minus 4ac and it's greater than 0, we get two solutions because it's going to cross through the x-axis twice, once there and there, or there and there. If it's equal to 0, we get one solution, okay? So that's just where it touches and goes the other direction. If it's less than 0, we have no real solutions, and so that would be a parabola whose minimum is above the x or maximum is below the x-axis. So take a look down here at the bottom. Again, what we do is we get it equal to 0. We identify a, b, and c, and then we're just going to do b squared minus 4ac. That's the only part we're doing. Just this middle inside part of the radical, b squared minus 4ac. That's 2. All right, go ahead and pause the video here. Do a and b for number 3, and we'll see what you get. Pause the video now. All right, you're back. Hopefully for a, you got no real solutions. And for b, you got 2 real solutions. If you didn't get those, try them again. Again, order of operations, sign errors, big mistake areas. If you're still not getting them, make a note of it, and I will go over those in class. Problem number 4 is using the discriminant to solve a problem. So all that's asking is given this example, will the ball reach a height of 115 feet? So we make the h 115, we move it over here, and then we're going to find the discriminant. We just want to know, is that possible? Is it possible that it could reach that height? So we just find out if there's 1, 2, or no real solutions. And when you plug that in, you get a negative number, so there's no real solutions. Go ahead and try that on number 4, okay? Try that on number 4, but now with 110 feet, okay? So we're going to take the same problem and we're going to write 110 equals negative 16 t squared plus 85t plus 1/12. Solve it for 0, so get it equal to 0. So 0 equals negative 16 t squared plus 85t minus 109 and 11/12. All right. Go ahead and do that on your calculator. With it, there's your A, there's your B, there's your C. Just do b squared minus 4ac and see what you get. Okay, go ahead and do that, and we'll talk about the answer in just a second. All right, hopefully you got a yes. The answer is yes. The discriminant was positive, so there are 2 real solutions. And all that means is that, like, here's my little golf ball, and I hit it, and it reaches 110 feet there. It keeps going. It's coming down now because of gravity. And it reaches 110 feet there, so there's the 2 times where that solution exists. All right, that's it for the notes. Really easy stuff. If you have questions, make sure you write them down so we can go over them in class. I need a favor, though. Mr. Hampson has suggested, and some students have suggested, I need some sort of catchphrase to end my videos, some sort of witty repartee to end the videos in. He uses "Good night Albuquerque," which I don't understand. Nobody's from New Mexico. Nobody even really knows anybody from New Mexico. It's almost like it's a made-up place. It's like Narnia. But I need something. So if you have any ideas, leave them in the comments below, or put them on. Throw them on Twitter for me, and don't forget to @ me on Twitter, Mr. Numero, and so I can see these. And then the best catchphrase, I'll start ending my videos with that. Until then, I want you to know this. I don't know why he's saying goodnight to Albuquerque, because Albuquerque is not the capital of New Mexico. Santa Fe is. So I don't know if Mr. Hampson needs some help with geography or what, but yeah, Santa Fe, important to know. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day. Bye.